Her husband disappeared 6 weeks after they got married. 70 years later, she learns the tragic truth. Her husband went missing 6 weeks after their wedding. After 70 years, she finally discovered the heartbreaking truth. For most of her life, Peggy Harris didn't know what happened to her husband, Billy, who disappeared shortly after they got married. Even with limited resources, she never stopped searching for him. While many would have moved on, Peggy never gave up because she believed he would never leave her without a reason. For many, such an event would have been a breaking point in a relationship. But Peggy loved Billy too much to believe he had simply left her. Something didn't add up, and deep in her heart, she knew she had to search for the truth. Her journey to uncover what happened would take decades and test her resilience, but she never wavered in her devotion to her one true love. The reality was painful. Billy was long gone. The lack of clear information about his disappearance only made things worse. Despite the apparent end, Peggy never abandoned hope that she would one day find out what had happened to her husband. Her story is more than just a mystery, it is a testament to the power of love and unwavering commitment. Even after 70 years of waiting, she never stopped loving Billy. Peggy Seal was born and raised in Vernon, Texas, during the 1920s. A beautiful and ambitious young woman, she defied expectations by working as an electric instrument mechanic at Altus Air Force Base in Oklahoma. Her job set her apart. She was the only female mechanic on the entire base. At a time when women rarely served in such roles, Peggy's determination and independence made her stand out. Fate intervened when Peggy met Billy Harris. Billy's father, an assistant supervisor at the base, was the first to recognize Peggy's unique qualities. He immediately thought she would be a perfect match for his son, a young pilot training for the U.S. Army Air Corps. Encouraged by his father, Billy began writing to Peggy. Their connection started through letters, a common form of communication in the era, especially for young couples separated by distance. At first, Peggy was hesitant. She was not in the habit of corresponding with men she didn't know, particularly servicemen. However, Billy's persistence won her over. Over time, their letters deepened their bond. It was not love at first sight, but rather love at first read. Billy and Peggy's correspondence blossomed into a heartfelt romance. The anticipation grew until they finally met in person. Peggy recalled the moment vividly. All of a sudden, the door to the airplane opened, and there was Billy Harris saying, "Hello, Peggy." And that was about it. Their instant connection sealed their fate. The couple soon decided to marry. On September 22, 1943, Peggy and Billy exchanged vows in Florida. However, their happiness was short-lived. From a financial standpoint, Billy and Peggy struggled. They were so poor that Peggy had to use her Vernon High School class ring as a wedding band. Yet, their love outweighed their financial hardships. They dreamed of a future together, building a family and growing old side by side. But just 6 weeks after their wedding, Billy was deployed to fight in World War II. As a fighter pilot, his duty called him overseas, separating him from Peggy. They promised to reunite as soon as possible, but tragedy struck. Billy never returned home. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months, but no word came. Peggy searched desperately for answers, writing letters and seeking information from military authorities. Each inquiry led to more confusion. First, she was told Billy had been missing in action. Later, she received conflicting reports. Some claimed he had been killed in combat, others suggested he might have been taken as a prisoner of war. The uncertainty was unbearable. Years passed, but Peggy never remarried. She held on to hope that one day, she would discover the truth. Despite being surrounded by friends and family who encouraged her to move on, she remained loyal to Billy's memory. She dedicated her life to keeping his love alive. 70 years after Billy's disappearance, Peggy finally found the answers she had been searching for. With the help of a historian and declassified military records, she learned the heartbreaking truth: Billy had passed away in combat in 1944. His plane was shot down over German-occupied France, and he was killed in action. What was even more shocking was that Billy had not been forgotten by everyone. In the small French village of Levant, he was honored as a hero. The villagers had buried him with respect and had been holding a memorial service for him every year since his demise. For decades, Peggy had believed that Billy's fate was unknown. In reality, he had been laid to rest in a place that cherished his sacrifice. Upon learning this, she traveled to France, where she saw his grave and met the people who had kept his memory alive for generations. Though the revelation was bittersweet, it brought closure. Peggy finally knew what had happened to Billy. After decades of waiting, her unwavering love was rewarded with the truth. Peggy Harris's love for her husband, Billy, remained unwavering for over 70 years. After decades of searching, she finally learned that Billy had passed away in combat and was honored as a hero in a small French village. Her devotion proves that true love transcends time, distance, and even it endures forever.